If you have some flour, butter and a few simple ingredients at home, you need to try this recipe. Just look at how crispy and golden these meat pies turn out. But wait, let me show you what I mean by crispy. Can you hear that? Did you hear that crunch? Let me do it again because that sound is everything. And look at how light and flaky the inside is while the outside is so crispy. These are the kind of meat pies that make you want to keep eating just because of that crunch. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I made them, from the dough all the way to this beautiful crispy finish. And the best part is that the ingredients are very simple. So let's get started. Into my bowl, I'm starting with 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to sieve the flour first. This helps break up any lumps, remove any unwanted particles, and give us a smoother dough. But if you already have a very clean, fine flour, you can definitely skip this part. Next, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of salt. Give everything a really good mix so the sugar and the salt are evenly distributed throughout the flour. Now here comes something important for this recipe, cold water. I'm using 1.5 cup of cold water, but please don't add all of it at once. Add the water gradually while mixing. The reason I like using cold water here is because we want to keep the dough cold and avoid developing too much gluten while working with it. This helps us to achieve that light, flaky and crispy texture that we are looking for. And remember, different brand and type of flour can absorb water differently, so you may not need exactly the same amount. That is why adding it gradually is always safer. As the dough starts coming together, I'm going in with 3 tablespoons of oil. I like adding the oil gradually as well while continuing to mix and knead the dough. Keep working it until everything comes together into a soft dough. Now I'm transferring it onto a lightly floured surface and I'm going to knead it for about 5 to 8 minutes. You want the dough to become smooth, soft and easy to work with. It shouldn't feel hard or dry. Just look at how soft and smooth mine has become. Once the dough reaches this stage, I'm going to let it rest for about 10 minutes. I'll simply cover it with a clean towel and leave it to relax. After 10 minutes, our dough is ready. I'm going to lightly flour my work surface and transfer the dough onto it. Now I'm dividing the dough into 6 equal portions. Take each portion and shape it into a smooth ball. And I'm going to repeat the same thing with the remaining pieces until everything is nicely round. Now let's work with one piece at a time. I'm lightly dusting it with flour to prevent sticking and then I'm going to roll it out. And when I say very thin, I mean very thin. Keep rolling until the dough becomes almost transparent. This is one of the secrets to getting that beautiful flaky and crispy texture. Now I'm using butter to apply a thin layer all over the surface of the roll out dough. Make sure you cover as much of the surface as possible with a light even layer. We don't want to soak the dough in butter, but enough to create those beautiful layers. Once the butter is evenly distributed, I'm going to make a cut from the center outwards, just like I'm showing you here. This makes it much easier to fold the dough. Now I'm folding it over itself layer by layer, just like I'm showing you here. Until I get this shape, and just like that we have our first piece ready. I'm transferring it onto a lightly floured plate, making sure not to overcrowd the plate because we don't want the pieces sticking together. I'm dividing mine between two plates and sprinkling enough flour between the layers. Once everything is arranged, I'm placing the dough in the refrigerator to rest for about 1 hour. While our dough is resting, let's prepare our delicious filling. For the filling, I'm starting with a little oil in my pan. Then I'm adding some chopped onions. I'll saute the onions for a couple of minutes until they become soft and fragrant. And now I'm adding my minced beef. At first, the beef may stick together in large chunks, so I'll continue stirring it and breaking it apart. Keep stirring until the beef is nicely separated and evenly cooked. Now it is time for seasoning. I'm adding curry powder, beef seasoning, salt, ginger powder and some chili powder for a little heat. Give everything a really good stir so all those flavors can come together. Then I'm adding my chopped carrots. Continue cooking and stirring until the beef is completely cooked and the carrots are tender but still have a little bite. At this point, your kitchen is going to smell absolutely amazing. The filling is looking so good and now it is ready. I'm going to set it aside and allow it to cool while we get back to our dough. After about an hour in the refrigerator, our dough is ready. I'm taking one piece and placing it onto my lightly floured work surface. Now we are going to roll it out again. And because we allow the dough to rest, you will notice how easy it is to roll. There is no fighting with the dough and no need for extra hands. Just roll it gently and evenly. For each roll out piece, I'm making 3 meat pies. So I'm placing 3 portions of the filling, leaving enough space between each one. Then I'm folding the other side of the dough over the filling. Now I'm gently pressing around the each portions. Make sure you press between the pies so the filling stays in place. Then I'm cutting between each one. Now I'm trimming the edges a little to give the pies a cleaner and more presentable shape. And of course we need those beautiful pies edges. I'm using a fork to press around the edges. This helps seal the pie properly and it also gives them that classic meat pie look. Then I'm using a knife to make a few small decorative cuts on top. You don't need to make them perfect, just make them neat and even. And that's it, our first batch of meat pie is ready. I'm repeating exactly the same process with the remaining dough. Roll it out, add filling, fold, seal, trim the edges, press with a fork and decorate. Once all the pies are ready, I'm arranging them on a baking tray. And make sure your oven is already preheated because we want to put them straight into a hot oven. My oven is already preheated to 200 degrees Celsius. Before baking, I'm giving the pies a beautiful egg wash using egg yolk. Brush the egg yolk gently over the surface of each pie. This is going to give them that gorgeous golden color once they are baked. Now they are ready for the oven. Bake at 200 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes or until they are beautifully golden, crispy and fully baked. And just look at them. They are so light, flaky and crispy. This is exactly the texture that we are looking for. Now for more important parts, let's hear that crunch one more time. That is the kind of crispy meat pie that I'm talking about. And if you enjoy watching this recipe, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel and turn your notification bell so you don't miss my next recipe. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye!